up to another day of Tesla Shorts Time, Daily, episode 487, coming to you from Vancouver. It's May 27th, 2026. Tesla never sleeps, and neither does the news cycle. Construction of Tesla's dedicated Optimus factory at Giga Texas marks the first physical step towards scaling humanoid robot production at volume. Drone footage from May 27th shows the first steel structure now standing on the north campus of Gigafactory, Texas. The dedicated facility is designed to support production of up to 10 million Optimus units. Phase 2 work is already visible alongside the initial framing. The move shifts Optimus from prototype development into a purpose-built manufacturing footprint. Next milestone to watch is when equipment installation begins inside the new structure. Construction of a 10 million unit factory shifts the robot program from research possibility to manufacturing throughput problem. The decision to allocate prime Giga Texas real estate and begin steel erection signals that production scaling is now treated as an engineering and logistics problem rather than a distant possibility. The facility's stated capacity target of 10 million units per year forces a different set of constraints than prototype work. At that volume, every process from casting and actuator assembly to final calibration must achieve automotive-level repeatability while remaining far cheaper per unit than current industrial robots. Physics and economics both push toward vertical integration of motors, gearboxes, and control electronics inside the same site. The same pattern Tesla applied to battery cells and powertrains. If the factory reaches even a fraction of its design rate, Tesla gains a structural cost advantage that outside robot makers cannot easily match without similar scale. Future Optimus pricing and availability will be set by manufacturing throughput rather than by software breakthroughs alone. Tesla executives confirmed the second-generation Roadster will be built at Gigafactory, Texas. Planning for the production layout has begun the first concrete statement on the car in 9 years. No launch date has been set. The decision keeps the Halo vehicle inside Tesla's Texas operations rather than outsourcing or splitting production. Observers will watch for any updates on battery or motor specifications tied to the Texas site. While buyers weigh those two models, Tesla is also expanding how its existing fleet can supply power. The two models differ by roughly $3,000, with the Model Y offering more cargo space and higher seating. Both share the same core platform and powertrain options. Buyers focused on commuting efficiency may prefer the lower Model 3, while those needing versatility lean toward the Y. The comparison highlights how small price gaps now separate Tesla's volume vehicles. Watch for any Juniper refresh timing that could shift the value equation. Power capabilities are one thing, keeping the car cool in extreme heat is another. The guide details how Tesla vehicles can supply power to tools, homes, or other loads through V2L and V2H modes. Supported models include newer Cybertrucks and refreshed Model S and X variants with the required hardware. The system uses the vehicle's high-voltage battery as a mobile generator without additional external inverters. It positions Tesla vehicles as backup power sources during outages or remote work. Fleet operators will watch for software updates that expand which trims gain full bidirectional capability. Hardware progress also shows up in the long view of FSD computers. New patents describe advanced thermal management systems aimed at maintaining cabin and battery temperatures during extreme heat. The filings focus on improved heat pump efficiency and targeted cooling loops for high-load components. These approaches could reduce energy draw from the battery during hot weather operation. The patents signal ongoing work to improve real-world efficiency in warm climates. Production integration timelines remain undisclosed. The timeline traces hardware from the single-camera Mobileye setup through HW3, HW4, and the upcoming AI5 computer. Each generation increased onboard compute and camera resolution, while removing reliance on radar and ultrasonic sensors. The shift reflects Tesla's move to a vision-only architecture scaled across millions of vehicles. Owners upgrading older cars now face questions about retrofit compatibility with newer software branches. The next hardware revision will be measured by how many vehicles can run unsupervised FSD without additional sensors. Now, one thing worth watching is the used Tesla market. Used Tesla prices have declined sharply, while the broader used car market shows signs of stabilization. The Cybertruck segment remains an exception, with values holding firmer than other Tesla models. The divergence suggests buyers still assign premium status to the new truck, despite softness elsewhere in the lineup. Tesla's ability to manage inventory and refresh cycles will determine whether the gap narrows or widens. Volvo vehicles will now access thousands of Tesla superchargers across Europe and parts of Asia Pacific through the native Volvo app. The expansion adds non-Tesla brands to the network without requiring separate adapters for participating models. It follows earlier European agreements and extends the same convenience model to additional regions. The move increases utilization of existing Tesla chargers while giving Volvo owners broader fast-charging options. Next data point is how many Volvo drivers actually adopt the network in the first quarter of availability. VP of Vehicle Engineering Lars Moravi said on the Ride the Lightning podcast that a plaid powertrain for the Model 3 is something he thinks about often. Engineering challenges around cooling, weight distribution, and battery discharge rates remain. No timeline or confirmation of development has been given. Adding plaid performance would place the Model 3 directly against higher output rivals in the compact sedan segment. The next signal would be any prototype sightings or supply chain filings tied to a tri-motor setup. A Tesla owner used the vehicle's built-in solar charging capability to maintain enough battery power while stranded. The feature kept critical systems running until rescue arrived. It demonstrates how onboard solar can serve as a low-power emergency reserve in remote areas. The incident highlights a practical use case beyond daily driving range. Fleet managers may track how often solar assist prevents full battery depletion in off-grid conditions. Tesla filed plans for an additional store in Brevard County, Florida. The proposal would expand local delivery and service capacity beyond the existing location. County records show the site would handle both new vehicle handovers and after-sales support. The move aligns with Tesla's pattern of adding smaller regional outlets as delivery volumes grow. Local regulators will review traffic and zoning impacts before approval. Quebec approved the Shanghai-produced Model 3 for the provincial rebate after reviewing origin and content requirements. The decision opens the incentive to buyers of the imported variant. It expands access for customers who prefer the Chinese-built version over Fremont production. The ruling clarifies how Tesla's multi-factory supply chain interacts with regional incentive rules. Other provinces may review similar eligibility questions for cross-border Tesla models. The final signature edition Model S and Model X vehicles were delivered at Fremont, marking the end of that production run. Elon Musk and Franz von Holzhausen highlighted how the original Model S and X established Tesla's reputation for performance and design. The event closed an 18-year chapter that began in a tent behind the SpaceX factory. Remaining customer orders will shift to refreshed variants or other models. Collectors will track how the last signature cars perform in the used market. The new Fortress is positioned as an even more extreme alternative to the Cybertruck. CarBuzz coverage notes its over-the-top design and capability claims that exceed standard truck offerings. The vehicle targets buyers seeking maximum presence rather than efficiency. It arrives as Cybertruck production scales in Texas. The comparison underscores how third-party builders are responding to Tesla's entry into the pickup segment. INEOS shares rise 9% while other EV stocks lag. The gain stands out against Tesla and Rivian performance on the same day. Yahoo Finance highlights the divergence in Chinese EV names versus US peers. It reflects separate market dynamics in Asia versus North America. Investors are watching whether the move signals broader recovery for non-Tesla EV makers. Rivian stock shows death cross as Model Y rival nears launch. Technical signals point to weakening momentum ahead of the R2 debut. Benzinga notes the pattern coincides with Tesla's continued Model Y dominance. The timing adds pressure on Rivian to deliver strong initial orders. The crossover segment remains the largest battleground for new entrants. SpaceX-Tesla merger speculation returns after Musk's NASDAQ comments. Recent remarks about listing SpaceX have revived old crossover ownership theories. CNBC coverage notes the chatter comes as both companies pursue capital-intensive projects. Any structural link would face regulatory and shareholder review. The discussion underscores how closely the two firms are still associated in investor minds. Keep an eye on further production layout updates for the Roadster and any prototype sightings for a potential Plaid Model 3. That's your Tesla news for today. TSLA closed at $438.27, up $4.68, 1.1%. If you found this useful, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. You can also find us on X at Tesla Shorts Time. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.